up even when he was knocked down. We know he spoke up even when he was told to shut up. Thankfully for us, he never listened to either command. He was beaten in Montgomery. Hear, hear. He was beaten in Montgomery. He was beaten in Selma. He was beaten in Rock Hill. But he has never been beaten in spirit. I stand here today as the 59th mayor of the city of Atlanta because John Lewis stood up on so many other days. That is why it is my humble and high honor to present Congressman John Lewis, the first recipient of the John Lewis Lifetime Achievement Award, to you. But first, let us turn our attention to a wonderful video.
Resilient, audacious men this country has ever witnessed. John Lewis embodies the essence of an American hero, dedicated to the fight for equal rights and being a voice for those who have no voice. Congressman Lewis is a living testament to the power of patience and perseverance. Lewis was born the son of a sharecropper in rural Alabama, a victim of Jim Crow segregation and political disenfranchisement. Lewis was inspired by the nonviolent efforts of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As an undergrad at American Baptist College, Lewis was instrumental in organizing sit-ins at local restaurants and diners. Lewis was only 21 when he joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC, becoming one of the original Freedom Riders. This group was committed to abolishing segregation at Southern bus terminals. They would endure savage and inhumane beatings from angry white Southern mobs that were oftentimes left unchallenged by local police. Selma, Alabama would set the stage for the momentum needed to enact change. Thwarted attempts to register black voters, eradicate poll taxes and literacy tests opened the door to a civil rights march that would be unlike any other. March 7, 1965, became known as Bloody Sunday. 600 demonstrators were met with whips, clubs, and tear gas. 50 were injured. John Lewis with a cracked skull. Lewis nearly paid the ultimate price for seeking the most basic of American rights. The gruesome images of violence were broadcast around the world. A week and a half later, President Johnson appeared before a joint session of Congress to demand passage of the Voting Rights Act. Lewis became widely regarded as one of the most influential leaders in the civil rights movement. In 1963, he was asked to take part as a keynote speaker in the historic March on Washington. Lewis's tireless efforts would ultimately pay huge dividends for him in his future political endeavors, as he had grown to be well respected, not only in the black community, but on Capitol Hill as well. In 1977, Lewis was appointed by then-President Jimmy Carter as Associate Director of the Action Agency, directing more than 250,000 volunteers. In 1986, he would be elected to represent Georgia's 5th Congressional District, a position Lewis has held for nearly 25 years. He is currently the Senior Chief Deputy Whip for the Democratic Party in leadership in the House. He has remained faithful to his supporters, championing the issues that are most important to them. As recently as last year, Lewis supported Atlanta's downtown streetcar project and was instrumental in helping the city receive nearly $50 million from the United States Department of Transportation. The project is expected to create over 5,000 jobs for Georgians over the next 20 years. Lewis's passion for human rights remains as strong as ever. Lewis spoke out against Georgia's recent legislation to crack down on illegal immigrants, saying that the new provisions were reminiscent of Jim Crow and South Africa's apartheid. He called it a recipe for discrimination and declared we've come too far to return to the dark past. An author and the recipient of countless awards, a dedicated husband and father, Lewis is married to Lillian Miles and they have one son, John. Lewis says he hopes to leave this earth a little more greener, cleaner, and peaceful. Georgia Democrats congratulates Congressman John Lewis and honor him with the John Lewis Lifetime Achievement Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, an advocate for ethics, an American hero, and the U.S. Representative of Georgia's 5th Congressional District, Congressman John Lewis.